Good evening, Ham Radio Happy Hour. Thank you for joining tonight. Get started here in just a minute. Okay, I'm just going to jump right into it right there. Hey, check this out. Yep, looking at the audio here. My computer keeps changing audio levels on me. It's Windows, so you can blame Windows on that. Thanks for joining us tonight, guys. I hope you guys watched Kyle's trivia stream last hour. I think I got none of those right. I think no. I was kind of, I got a few right like the first round, but mostly that's probably the worst I've ever done on trivia. I'm not a big trivia guy anyway, but I don't know. That's probably the most I've ever done on trivia. So happy October to everybody. Hope everyone's doing well. I have a short promo video that I want to play for you guys because we're going to be hosting a new technician class on this channel, live stream. New technician class on a live stream on this channel on Saturday, November 12th. So I would like you guys to share it out wherever you choose to. I've got I'll send you, if you want a link to this video, I'll send it to you. But I've got a short version of it I'm going to put on Instagram Reels and TikTok soon. But check this out. First official, at least on my channel, first official technician class for 2022 with a new question pool. So let's go. Do you want to get your brand new ham radio license? It's 2022 and the question pool has changed. The new question pool updated in July of this year, and on November 12th, we are going to offer a one-day technician class. If you or someone in your family or someone you know, someone in your local club has come in and wants a live in-person training, we're going to offer a free technician class in one day on this channel on November 12th. Sign up at the link below, which is hr2.li/new tech class. New tech class, no spaces. Sign up with your email address to be invited to the free Zoom webinar that we will be hosting on November 12th. Space is limited, so sign up as soon as you can. So here it is, the first technician class of 2022 with the new question pool on this channel, Ham Radio 2.0, on November 12th. Sign up at the link below. Hope to see you there. You know what? I mean, these guys, they don't know how to use Zoom, I guess. Oh, James, you got it to work, buddy. Oh, I'm just going to switch right over here, and everybody's unmuted. And good evening to all. How you guys doing?
Hello.
Hey, what's going on?
Those questions, those frequency or those digital mode questions were evil. Those were not good.
Well, whenever Norm sent them to me, he sent them to an email and he said, "Sorry." That's all he said.
Sorry.
So whenever he sends those, I know that they're bad.
Yeah, for sure. I'm like, wow. Yeah, that's just terrible. Goodness. Yeah, those were bad. Because he was talking digital modes and everything was like old HF digital modes. And I'm like, I thought he might throw some DMR fusion stuff in there. I guess he did towards the end, but
yeah.
Oh my goodness. So, well, happy Friday to all. Hope everybody's having a good month. And Scott, I think you got someone trying to get in your door behind you.
Yeah. A couple buddies of mine.
Yeah.
Groupies, ham radio groupies.
Ham radio groupies.
I want to know where you get where do you go to get something like that?
It's a good question. YouTube. It's the answer for everything. YouTube.
Okay.
It reminds me of when I'm staying in a state park and and I'm taking a shower, and that's the hunters outside.
Yeah.
Wow.
I can see that actually. Sadly, I think I can see that actually. Sheesh. Well, it looks like we're gonna have a slow night because the usual suspects were all invited to the chat tonight, or to the stream tonight, and I got a reply from 2 or 3 people saying they had conflicts, which is fine. Can't do it all the time, but oh, there's Parachute Boy coming in. So
Parachute Boy.
I got his antenna ready for him.
So we'll just go. Scott, do you want to talk about the Hamfest?
Yeah, I can briefly. I don't have a whole lot of information about it, but
it's just several months from now. It's well into next year, but if people wanted to plan for it, I thought I'd give you the spotlight for a minute.
Yeah, sure. So next year we're going to be reviving after the whole pandemic thing that went on. They're going to be reviving the Greater Houston Hamfest, and the idea is we're trying to get bigger and bigger. We want to eventually compete with the larger Hamfests out there like Hamcation and Hamvention. So it'll be in the middle, I think, early March, and it'll be a 2-day event. We got vendors coming in, or if you want to come in as a vendor, there's ways to get on it. You go to I forgot what the actual website address is. Find it and put it up for you.
I think it's just isn't it HoustonHamfest.org or something like that?
I think so. Something like that.
Yeah,
it's pretty simple.
Yeah.
You can also go to our club's website, which is bvarc.org, bvarc.org.
Yeah.
And you'll see the links up there in the top of the menu system to get there. But yeah, it should be a pretty good event. They're trying to do as much as they can to entice and market and get people to come to this thing and be a part of it. Trying to welcome some YouTubers in this year. And it should be a lot of fun. I mean, I think it'll be, if we get all of our ducks in a row, I think it'll be pretty successful for us.
Good. Yeah, I've been to that show. Shoot, I was at that show for 3 or 4 years in a row prior to COVID. So 2016-ish through 2019, maybe 2015 through 2019, something like that. I went to, and it's a good show. It's a great show if you live locally. I wouldn't say it's great if you want to come in from out of state, unless you just want something to do. Hey, anybody who wants to come in. So my wife and I typically we will go down to our Galveston house and stay for a couple weeks around that show. And it's a 90-minute drive from our house in Galveston to Rosenberg, Texas, which is the city out in the southwest corner of Houston where that show is. But it's closer than 5 to 6 hours, which is from where I'm sitting right now. It's about 6 hours. So if y'all want to do like a POTA thing, we could go come to the Hamfest, and it's half a day Friday and all day Saturday. Well, till like 2 on Saturday. And we could go POTA the rest of the weekend. So take a look at it. What are the dates, Scott? I forget.
I'm still waiting for the updates on the site. I know it's gonna be a Saturday or Saturday thing, I believe.
I've got it on my calendar. I thought they had announced that a while back.
Yeah, we're still working out the details on it.
Okay.
It is getting closer, and as we have more meetings stuff, like I said, I'm very limited on the information that I've got about it.
Okay.
But I think if we can get a lot of people out there, a good turnout. There's a lot of stuff that's going to be out there. A lot of activities going on. Balloon launches. I have a lot of HRO, I believe, is coming out. I have some other people coming out. So it should be a well-rounded Hamfest, and it'll grow every year as long as we get more and more attendance coming in.
Yes.
How big usually does it get? Like attendance?
I honestly don't know. I've never been to one.
It's gosh, I wish I could remember. I want to say it's somewhere in the neighborhood of like 75-ish tables, and I don't know, a few hundred people. Of course, this was prior to, they haven't done it in 2 years. Yeah. They haven't done it since 2019. Actually, they haven't done it in 3 years. By the time it gets here, it'll be 2023. Is it? So they skipped it in 2020, 2021. They skipped it this year as well for some reason. I don't know why they skipped it this year. Everybody else did a Hamfest this year, but they didn't. So yeah, it's not big. It's not big, but it is worth checking out and looking into and attending if it's not too inconvenient for you to come down to, because it would be nice. It would be a very nice Hamfest to grow. They've partnered with one of the Houston area makerspace clubs. So there's a lot of makerspace, Raspberry Pi, robotic type of.
Get the kids in there with the robots, and like Education Alley and
correct. Yes. So there's a lot of that's going on. They did that in 2019. Yep. And according to Scott, they're doing that again this year. So it's worth taking a look at. But again, I wouldn't buy a plane ticket and fly in for it. But if you want to drive down for it, it might be kind of fun.
And I've heard they're also doing, like I said, I think they're doing like a balloon launch. So Carlos, you want to come out and jump out of a plane, catch the balloons as they're coming up.
There we go. Yeah, they usually do balloon launches from that parking lot. I've witnessed that a couple times.
I can jump from a balloon as long as they let me out at about 3,000 or 4,000 feet. I'm good.
Yeah,
Right.
You should talk to Shane. Maybe you can go up in his first ride.
Yes.
I heard Shane got his balloon. I think Shane got his balloon pilot's license or whatever that's called. So
How do you pilot a balloon?
I don't. You know what? If they require you to pilot a drone, they probably require you to pilot a balloon. I mean,
Yeah,
if
you can actually pilot a balloon.
yeah, oh yeah, you can. You just got to be licensed, I think.
Yeah.
So,
Don't you pretty much go where the wind is blowing?
Yes, but you have to read the winds aloft forecast and plan accordingly.
Ah.
I've flown on a balloon a few times, so you have to. They have to use the charts to figure out what current is moving at what altitude. So if you want to go from here to there, you have to go. Well, I need to get at this altitude for this long, and then at that altitude for that long, and you have to plan it out.
Sounds like a lot of math.
It's a lot of work. It's more
Sound
work
like
than
I don't
want,
do math in the air.
I don't do.
Me either.
Yeah. So anyway, so Shane, 6 months away, buddy. Well, 5 months away. Look at your schedule. That thing, that pesky work thing that gets in the way of all your ham radio activities. And I've got it on my calendar as the first weekend in March. So I don't know if that'll change. I don't know how tentative or permanent that date is, but I've got it as the first Friday and Saturday in March. And I thought they had put that on their website like several months ago. That's why I wrote it down. But yeah, check that out. Yeah, HoustonHamFest.org, I think, is their website, so that should be fun. But yeah, and people are talking in the chat. So there's 2 ham fests happening in this area tomorrow. There's one in Springtown Hamfest, which is about, if anybody knows where like Jacksboro or Decatur is, it's up in that neck of the woods. And for some reason those guys, and that's going to be a really small show. For some reason those guys did the same one as the Ardmore, Oklahoma, what they call the Texoma Hamorama. I don't know who comes up with these names. But it's in the Texoma area. Texoma is the border of Texas and Oklahoma. So I think I'm going to get up in the morning and drive up to the Texoma Hamfest. That one's been going on for a long, long time. It should be a little bit bigger of a show. I think I'm going to get up early in the morning, drive up there, hang out for a couple hours, and then come back. My wife and I have plans tomorrow afternoon.
Jason, you can always get on the road and come to the Fort Wayne Hamfest in November.
When is that now?
Say what?
When? What's the date on that one?
The Fort Wayne Hamfest is November 19th and 20th.
Okay. That's the weekend before Thanksgiving.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. I have heard good things about that show. I've never been to that show, but I've heard really good things about it. So
it's gotten smaller over the years, and
has it?
We used to have R&L would come out. They were the big vendor, and they're not coming out anymore.
Oh.
So I think the biggest vendor we have is Tower Electronics.
Oh, they still come to your? They decided they weren't going to come to ours anymore.
I don't even know if they're coming to this one this year. I just know that was when I went last year. That was the biggest vendor that was there. I was like, oh, yeah, well, okay.
They were at
They
were at Belton 2 weeks ago.
All the tables were basically swap meet, and there were a lot of radios for sale in there, a lot of gear for sale in there. So it turned out okay.
Yeah.
Some of these smaller vendors, they have decided to scale back and not go to a lot of shows. But I don't understand how these smaller vendors who don't have websites or have websites that are, in the 2000s, that they can, not go to all of these.
Aren't all of them
shows
with websites that are in the 2000s, in the early 2000s?
There's a few, there's a few of them that have decent websites.
Gigaparts has a good website.
Yeah,
it's
Gigaparts
modern.
does.
DX Engineering, maybe? Or
there's some that are horrible, absolutely horrible.
Yes, there are.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
I mean,
Most of
a
the
1998
search
call, they
engines
want their HTML
Yeah.
3.0 back.
Yeah. RNL, speaking of RNL, he's working on a new website. So his new website, fingers crossed, should be pretty.
His website is
good.
not pretty, but it's searchable.
Yes, correct.
I can
that's
go
correct.
to that little square on the upper left hand corner and type anything I want. Then Bam, done.
And it comes up. But if you look at the URLs, once you search for something, it's like 9.5 miles long. And I'm what the hell, dude? So, yeah, he's working on a new website that should be pretty boss. I'm hoping. I haven't seen it. He just told me about it. So,
what you're saying is I can make a small killing in the web design world by promoting my skills to these people with these horrible.
You can,
really
and after you build mine, Scott, because you can't put somebody else ahead of me. After you build mine, you're welcome to use it to all these ham clothes and say, "Look what I did."
But Scott, the problem is these ham radio clubs and stores, they don't want to pay you anything.
Oh, I know. And
That's
e-commerce sites are the worst because you never get the money you put in time to build them.
They want the latest and greatest, but they're just like, can you do it for $300? And you're just like, what?
Well, I built the site a couple years back. He had over 2,000 items. I had to go in there and take pictures of all of his items, put them up on the site, and I only could get like $8,000 out of them. And I was like, that's not even worth my time.
That's too much work.
Yeah.
Way too much.
Yeah.
I have to also write the descriptions and the titles, and then you have all the SEO stuff, and you have to edit all the images. There's a lot to it.
There is a lot to it. Yeah, there's a whole lot to it. So, yeah, for sure. Okay, so I think someone asked a minute ago. Frank is still on a boat. I think he comes back tomorrow. I think it was a 7-day cruise, and he left last Sunday, so I think he'll be back tomorrow. If you guys have, and you guys I'm talking about you guys in the Zoom, and we'll let some more people in there, but have you guys ever heard of an app called Marco Polo?
No, but I used to play it at my public pool all the time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's like Twitter, but it's for video chat. So you can send like up to a 30 or 60 second vertical video to the people in your group, and you just talk back and forth via video chat. It's not live. You record it, you send it, and it pings everybody in the group. Hey, Jason sent a new Marco. Will you polo it or something like that? I don't remember. It's kind of
stupid. Is that designed by the U.S. government?
You know what? It's a good question.
Not as efficient.
So Joe Brett. So I set one up. My cousins, my wife's cousins, my cousins by marriage, they, they're like in college. So there are kids for, compared to me, they're kids. And, they're like, so we were on family vacation last Labor Day, and they're like, hey, there's this, and they were all doing this Marco Polo. I'm like, what is that? And they showed it to me. I'm like, that's pretty cool. So I created one I think it was called Ham Radio Creators, and I sent it out in Discord, and Frank and Joe Brett joined it. So it's just the three of us in there doing stuff.
I can imagine the conversation.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. So there was something. So Joe Brett did something the other day, and I replied to him, and I said, well, if Frank was smart, he'd be sending us videos from the boat. And then Frank piped up. He's like, hey, I'm in Cozumel. It's the first time I've had service in 5 days. So yeah, go out there and search.
Is he on one of those single cruises?
You know what? I don't think he would admit that if he were, but I don't know.
Frank comes back married
to 3 women.
To 3 women. Oh my God.
To Utah.
I moved to Utah.
Oh my God. I didn't ask that question.
Now we have to ask.
I think I was scared to ask that question actually, but no, I think he went with a group of friends. I think he and 2 or 3 or 4 of his friends were. I don't know. I don't know who. I don't know the people he's going with. I don't know why, but yeah.
I don't know about you guys, but I've been on a couple of cruises, and they're fun. I like them.
I love my wife and I went on a cruise for our honeymoon, and we've been on 3 cruises since then. Now, she kind of got tired of the Caribbean cruises. We've pretty much been everywhere in the pretty much, not really everywhere, but pretty much. But we went on a cruise, I guess it was 2019. It was before COVID, and it was a Mediterranean cruise. And we flew into Barcelona, and we stayed for 2 nights there on Barcelona on the ocean, on the Mediterranean Sea.
Yeah.
And then we got on a boat for 7 days, and then the boat went from Barcelona to Venice.
Yeah.
And we stayed in Venice for 2 nights. Because I always told her I always want to go to Venice. I said, I want to go to Venice. I want to go to. She's like, I've been there. It's not great, but okay, we'll go. And she's right.
Depends on the time of the year.
Yeah. It's people say it's like a city within a toilet bowl, and I can kind of see that.
I used to live a half hour away from there, and
Did you?
And you don't catch me in Venice in summer. No, spring, fall, winter, yes. Summer, nope.
Yeah, this was in the fall. I want to say this was September time frame. I think I don't remember, but 2018. My wife says it was 2018. So yeah. So but that was the best cruise that I've been on. That was freaking. And now she wants to go to Greece. Apparently, you can do a Grecian cruise. Is that a word, Grecian? Where you can cruise all the way around Greece and stop at 2 or 3 or 4 ports of call in the country of Greece.
What cruise line was that in the Mediterranean?
You know what? She's going to correct. She's in the chat. She says it was July. I don't remember it being that hot, but okay, maybe it's just not hot over there in July. Princess way, maybe. I don't know. She'll put it in the chat. She's watching the stream, and she'll put it in the chat in a second because she remembers that stuff. You know, you guys who are married, y'all ever go to a restaurant and say, "Oh, we've been here before, but I don't remember what I had," and your wife like completely dictates everything you ate 4 years ago at that restaurant? Have you guys done? Is that just my wife, or is that you guys?
It's all wives.
It's all. That's why I thought it was all wives. I thought it was all wives. Celebrity, she says. Celebrity cruises.
So
that's high end right there.
Won't get in trouble by saying it. So I will, because my wife doesn't watch this.
So my wife is like a travel ninja. Okay, so when I tell people that I went, so we have flown to Hawaii. We've been to Hawaii 4 times, but two of those 4 times we've flown first class. We paid $0 for those first class tickets.
That's
because
perfect.
She used to travel a bunch for her job. She had several 100,000 miles. So that's how we got first class tickets. So she found this celebrity. Like, we went to Cancun last month, and we were there for 4 days, 3 nights. And I think we flew to Cancun for like $150 each. And they upgraded us to first class because she has status on American. And then the whole thing was like I don't remember how much it was, but it was like really low cost. And she found this really good deal. She's like, it's only 4 days, but let's go. I'm like, cool, let's go.
Yeah.
So she found all this really cool stuff to go.
Any chance you get to get away for a little bit?
Yeah.
It's just 4 days, man.
Yeah.
You know,
she was surprised by how hot and humid it was in Mexico, and I'm like, every time I go to Costa Rica, it feels just like this. So, but I got to practicar mi español. So,
you don't have the cold that Daniel and I do, and I think James has that cold as well. I don't know, but Kyle has that medium cold. But if you give me a chance to get out of here for 4 days in December, January, February, I'm out, man. I'm see ya.
Oh yeah,
you should come to Hamcation.
I'm going to try to, but that's in February, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And there's a PIA, the Parachute Industry Association, has a meeting at the end of February that I need to go to, and it's in Reno. So I think that's the same weekend as Hamcation.
No, Hamcation's
like it's the second weekend.
Yeah, it's like this. It's the weekend that's always
do that then.
It's always the weekend closest to Valentine's Day, which can get you into trouble if you're not careful.
Not with my wife.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
As long as I don't forget her birthday or anniversary, we're good. Anything else she does not care about.
Awesome. Yeah, that's one thing I do. I remember dates, so I never forgotten any dates or anything like that. So
I forget my birthday, but I don't forget hers.
Yeah, I don't forget
Seriously.
my birthday. I don't forget my birthday because I'm always like, damn it, another year. So
is anybody else finding that the weeks pass by so fast? Like,
yes.
Oh yeah.
I swear yesterday was Monday. Like, man, I remember as a kid, it took forever for like the next birthday to come along, and now it's like, oh yeah.
It's because we spent 2020 and 2021 staring at the wall because of COVID. And now all of the weeks are just flying by because we're doing stuff. Like, we're actually busy,
everyone's grayer and we don't even notice it.
Everyone's got stuff to do because, we were cooped up in our houses for so long.
You know what? I don't know what y'all were doing in 2020, but I doubled my YouTube channel size. So I guess y'all were sitting around doing nothing. So
yes,
I was watching paint dry. It's great.
Shane,
I was here working on this belly over here.
Speaking of, I want to know what y'all are drinking tonight. Shane, what do you said? Which Discord? I don't understand what you're talking about, dude. But hey, if you're Shane, I think you said you were at work, but if you're not, you need to join us. So what's everyone drinking tonight? It's the first one I've opened this year.
Oh wow.
St. Arnold's Pumpkinator. If
I
you
think I
like,
still have one for like 2020.
This is 2019. I've
Okay.
got like 4 of them from 2020 and 4 of them for 2021. Haven't bought one for this year yet, but yeah, I'm gonna go on the hunt soon. So yeah, Pumpkinator, pumpkin stout, freaking awesome. So what do you got, Carlos?
This is Riggs Hefeweizen. I'm at the Drop Zone. The Drop Zone has a restaurant bar as part of it. So I just walked over there, got myself a beer, and I came over here and joined you fellas.
What do you're in a restaurant?
No, I'm at the Drop Zone. So skydiving tomorrow, I hope. And the Drop Zone has a bar restaurant next to it. So basically you finish skydiving for the day, you get yourself a drink and get some chow.
As long as the pilots don't start their day in there. That's all.
No, they do after.
Yeah, they do after. Oh, wow. So, okay, good.
The pilots are really sensitive around here. They have this like inferiority feeling about them because everybody leaves them in the airplane alone.
Good. I will go up in the airplane and stay with them. How's that? I'll do that. I will volunteer to take one for the team and do that. How's that?
Jason, I'm gonna switch computers because my this one's not acting right, so I'm switching computers to join.
Okay, and that's cool. No problem.
All
right.
I was reading the Scout 75 before. He said, what did he say? He says my ex was my Google, and I was kind of I was thinking it's either she's really smart or just never gave him the answer he wanted. I think it's the latter. Is that correct, Scout? Is that why she's your ex?
If she's never given the answers he wanted, she's probably Bing, not Google. So I'm just gonna put that out there. So what's up, Don? How are you, man? You hear us now?
Oh, I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. Yeah. So your internet may be a little bit buggy, but I think it's okay.
Yeah, it is. Or it might be this Chromebook. So
I could be the one.
I have all kinds of issues.
So Don is RF Field Tech in the chat, guys. He's in most of our live streams, but he's in Texas here. So everybody, welcome Don.
Hello.
I'm about 3 hours south of Jason, about an hour and a half north of Scott.
Yeah. Cool, man. Well, thanks for joining. Appreciate you being here.
Not a problem.
Yeah. Feel free to hop in anytime.
Yep.
What, Daniel?
I was gonna say, are you guys doing antenna projects right now before the cold hits in? Before the winter hits, or?
Well, not really. Not anything that I'm gonna put up or anything. But I have one of the car antennas and I have one of Adam's antennas that I need to build. So I'm gonna. No, it's right? no, it's yeah. I have a plan for the DX Commander. I have a plan.
I know this plan.
And yes, you do.
I know this plan.
And my plan is all because of you guys who have teased me for the last 4 years about my 3 years about my DX Commander. So you're gonna like this. It's gonna be a cool video. So
I can lend you a screwdriver.
Yeah. I have screwdrivers. Okay. I don't know. Every time I get my screwdriver out, my wife's like, "That's not like I'm pulling the vodka out of the cabinet." She's like, "That's not what they mean." I apologize. I misunderstood the intent.
My Nebula is back up. I just need to finish tuning it. So that's my antenna project before it gets stupid cold.
How tall is that antenna, Carlos?
60 feet, I think. 58 feet, something like that.
Yeah, it's massive.
Whenever it fell during a storm, right?
Yeah.
Did it fall on anything, and like what
happened?
No,
what happened was the storm it broke the mast. So the actual the guiding system kept the antenna up, but the wind was such that it just bent the fiberglass so much over that it just snapped it.
Gotcha.
Just when you look at the fiberglass mast, all right, the rest of you fellas can go like this because you don't want to hear this. It looks like someone took a catheter and extracted it without deflating the balloon.
Wow. Oops.
I gave you warning. I gave you all warning.
Yeah.
You could have gone like this, right?
Yeah. Whew.
So did you get it? Go ahead, Scott.
So I'm constantly building new antennas and trying to come up with new ideas and stuff. So what used to be my dining room is now an antenna workstation. And I'm gathering up parts and stuff, constantly trying to find new ways of recreating. I mean, there's only so many antennas you can build, but I'm just rehashing different things and trying to find different ways to package things and make them smaller and more efficient, and more powerful, and more resonant.
So whenever your antenna snapped, you called Callum or sent Callum an email and said, "Hey, did you get just individual tubes from him, or did you get a whole new antenna, or what did you do?"
Tubes. I had to buy a new mast.
Okay, gotcha.
So what I did is I took the mast that was broken, the section that wasn't broken. I'm using it individually just to hold up part of an 80 meter loop I have around my property.
Mm.
And then I took the section that broke, the section that split, and I basically did away with that section, and I put a 2 meter Slim Jim or J-pole on it. J-pole? Slim Jim. And basically I have that as my mast for my 2 meter radio inside of the shack. That way I have a decent height on that antenna so that I can get some distance on it.
Right. Gotcha.
I'm going to be building a Moxon over winter, a 2 meter Moxon to put on that same mast over winter. So it's not going to be terribly high, but it's still plenty high for what I'm doing,
Yeah.
Height is might with VHF though.
Tell me about it.
So, yep.
I will say this, Jason. I'll race you. I have a 5 BVR I still need to put together.
So Bob wants to put up a vertical with no radios at his house in Cozumel. And he's like, I need a vertical with no radios. I'm like, okay, you said no radials, so get the Hustler. If you would have said what's the best vertical, DX Commander. But yeah, you said no radios, so get the Hustler. But yeah, he's gonna have an operating station down there. T-Ray, what's up, buddy? $100 super chat. Appreciate you being here, bud.
Jeez.
So T-Ray, you need to make plans for the Houston Ham Fest. Because I know you're closer than I am to it. So T-Ray comes down with this when we go POTA in Galveston. So, in fact, I'm gonna start a new. I was kind of hoping to start it this fall or this winter, but I think it's probably going to be next year. And I'm gonna start going probably once. I'd love to do this once a month. I don't think my schedule will allow that though. But I'm going to start going to different areas and advertising it, and I'm going to call it Come POTA With Me. And I want to go down to the Houston area. Well, we'll do Galveston for sure, but I want to go to like San Antonio. I want to go out to Lake Charles, Side Boom's out there in Lake Charles, I think. I talked to him on Discord a week or so ago about something unrelated. But like seriously, I can get to Oklahoma City and to Shreveport faster than I can get to Galveston, and I want to start doing some stuff. In fact, I drove to the Ozarks last weekend for the Rendezvous in the Ozarks Overland show, and that was 5 hours. It was almost the exact same amount of time it takes me to get to the west end of Galveston. So, but I want to start doing some stuff like I say, hey, let's pick an area, advertise it, say, come POTA with me. We're going to go to this park, stay for a night or two, maybe a weekend. I don't know, maybe a Friday night and just Saturday. I don't know, something like that. So, anybody has any suggestions for that? Let me know.
Yes, I do.
A kilo a weekend.
Yeah, a kilo a weekend. That'd be great. Yeah.
Hey,
so,
Jason, we need to do next October for Oktoberfest, we need to go to Fredericksburg because you've got both the Johnson presidential and the natural science. It's two parks right there where his they call it the Texas Mini White House.
Okay.
They've got his plane and everything out there. All the cars he used as president.
I have been through Fredericksburg one time. Mm-hmm. I was on a work trip. I used to drive pilot car, and we drove through Fredericksburg, and I've always heard about it, but I'd never been there. This was like 3 years ago. And I'm like, and there's a bunch of wineries. There's a couple of vodka distilleries out there. And I'm like, this is freaking awesome. I told my wife, I was like, we need to go out here and spend a long weekend. I did not know there was a POTA spot so close.
There's actually there's two. There's the two for one's a state park, one's a national park.
Okay.
And that's actually just east of Fredericksburg. I don't know if they would count Enchanted Rock. It is a state park, but I don't know if that. I haven't looked to see if that's.
You have to just look on the POTA site and see if it's a state park and not on the POTA site. You can probably submit to have it added.
Right.
So
and there is a soda about 1.5 miles up the road, but it's private property, so that whole thing.
typical Texas soda.
Yeah.
So okay, but yeah, Fredericksburg would be awesome, and Oktoberfest, yes. I need to put that on the calendar for next year.
And I don't recommend you go trespassing anywhere, but you certainly don't want to go trespassing in Texas.
No, well,
no,
yeah.
You got to put in next year's calendar the Canadian fishing trip.
Okay, tell me what that is. Are you serious when you say that, or
I said that on another live stream. I said we got to plan a real fishing trip.
A real fishing trip. Okay.
Like not this nonsense. Go to the bridge. I mean, go up to the northern woods in Canada and fish. And I talked about it.
Yeah, that sounds vaguely familiar, but I've had a couple beers since then. Is it ice? I don't mean. I'm not joking around, Molson.
No,
is it ice fishing or is it okay?
No, it's not. It's real fishing.
Okay, it's real
fishing.
Yeah,
fishing in a boat,
not fake fishing.
Yeah.
No, I mean, what you guys like. Ice fishing is kind of boring. It's you literally go to. Well, no, it's not boring because you get drunk. So,
yes, yeah,
but like if you want what's fun is trolling and you get pike. Pike are hard to clean, but
we all know about trolling.
It's fun. Yeah.
I was about to ask what kind of fish you fish
for.
4
foot nothing. we got sorry. We got walleye, we got pickerel, we have pike, bass, so yeah, pretty much everything. But no, it'd be fun. I think Scout 75 is interested, but we should do a big fishing outing.
I've only been to Canada twice, and it was for the two. I went to the Niagara Falls, the Canadian side of Niagara Falls. My wife was
Canadian Vegas.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
You know how many POTA parks have never been activated in Northern Ontario?
Is that right? Wow.
Oh, dude, it's the whole thing is just nothing's been activated.
Mm-hmm.
So
because y'all have bears.
Right. Yeah. The bears.
Did you guys see the video of that guy in Japan who fought off the bear? Did you guys see that?
No.
This guy was hiking on a mountain, and all of a sudden he starts screaming, and he has a camera on him, and this bear is charging at him right on the edge of a cliff, and he literally kind of throws it over. It's below. It's trying to climb back up. He's kicking its face.
Yeah, I saw that one.
I didn't see that.
Oh, wow. It's crazy. It was.
That's
CGI.
Yeah, it was like the guy who fights the kangaroo in Australia.
Yeah. Right.
Well, he was screaming like a little girl, but it was really impressive to see the guy. He beat off the bear. It was a black bear. It was amazing.
And how did he film this? He set up his camera, and a bear just happened to be like.
Yeah, I'll find it and I'll send you the link. What were you saying, Carlos?
Say what?
What were you saying?
I said I wouldn't say exactly what you said in those words.
But that's what we call them up here. It's either a grizzly bear or a black bear.
No, that's not what I heard you say.
What are you talking about?
I would say he fought the bear. He fought the bear off him, but I wouldn't say he beat it off.
That's not what I said.
That's exactly what you said.
I missed that, buddy. I missed that one. I do admit I missed that one.
Only Carlos.
Yeah, only Carlos. That's true.
It's the Carlos filter.
Yeah.
I mean, how are you gonna get the bear off you?
Very careful.
Well, we have our ways in Texas, but maybe I shouldn't talk about that. But I don't know. Although you know what, most handguns would probably just piss off a bear. Be like, what did you just do to me?
Speaking of wild animals and stupid people, there was a video earlier this week, maybe late last week, of a fella that was, being stalked by a mountain lion, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
And he's got his cell phone video going, and he's got his Glock.
Okay.
It's like, here's a thought, knucklehead. the phone.
right,
Go
right,
hand
yeah.
him the gun and make shots that matter. He shot that thing 3 times. I think it was. He missed every time.
Oh my god, yeah,
Yeah.
maybe because he's
Yeah,
holding
I
his
saw that.
phone at the same time.
Just
Oh my
just
goodness.
a little bit of the gray matter up there.
Izzo's right. Only Carlos. That's a T-shirt. Only Carlos. What was it I said last stream? Izzo, because Izzo came back.
Beers between then and now.
Yeah, Izzo's come back. Izzo came back in the last stream. He's like, Jason, definitely make that shirt. I said something on Kyle's trivia. I was like, that's a T-shirt. I don't remember what it was now. I can go back and watch Kyle's trivia though. So, oh boy,
all 4 of you that to watch it after the live stream.
right?
That's a live only video. There's not many replays on those
No.
things.
No, that doesn't seem like it'd be something that people
No.
watch over and over again.
No.
But cool.
I shared the video of the bear attack to you guys.
Oh, okay. All right.
All right, I gotta
check
see
I
this.
gotta check that out. Yeah, that's funny.
The stream goes quiet.
Yeah,
Everybody's watching
everybody's
another
like,
YouTube video.
Yeah. Oh, it's only 1:17 long.
Yeah.
Copyright 2022 Bear Attacks Climber. I'm glad that he copyrighted. What in the hell? What is going on here?
It's got 2.7 million views.
Yeah, because it's impressive.
That's like 20
Look at
million
that.
YouTube dollars, isn't it?
Yeah. Something
I'll
like
put
that.
I'll put it in the I'll put the link in the live chat here for.
Oh, that bear just came down the
don't watch it
mountain at
now.
him.
What is going on here?
He came down the mountain at him.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
comes back at him and then like.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Trying to climb up the
There it
rock.
is.
Oh my
this is-
gosh.
Look at this
This
guy.
is-
Yeah.
What's
So maybe he was going up into the mountain to
I
soda.
love the fist. Did you see the fist?
Yes, yeah. He like hits him on the top of the head.
And then he kicks him.
Oh, oh yeah, it started over. How did he just like totally ninjas that bear. He's just like, "Wah-wah!" He's like Karate Kids, that bear. It's like,
It's not like black bears to attack. Like if
you know,
make
over
it
That
look
seems a
like-
little overly
that
aggressive.
he must have scared that bear somehow.
All we're
Right.
missing is
Oh,
a little Hadouken.
Oh yeah, Street Fighter.
Ford has babies nearby.
Yeah, I could have been near a den or something and didn't know it.
What would be scarier, a moose or a bear?
Moose.
Yes.
Yes.
I've seen bears. I've never actually seen a moose in the wild, but I hear they can be really mean.
They're
They're
enormous.
they're beautiful, glorious creatures. If you like,
Mhm.
they're just yeah.
You mean after you
Beautiful.
mount them on the wall?
It looked really good from about a mile away.
Yeah.
They look really good in my freezer. That's where they're
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah.
I don't
Tasty.
care about mounts all that much. I care about the yumminess that comes from
Yeah.
the meat.
Yeah. My dear lease buddies and I say we're members of PETA.
Yes,
Yeah,
I am
pe-
too.
People for the eating of tasty animals.
Yes.
Nice.
So, yes.
Send your hate mail too.
I saw another
James,
one.
how many bears have you? Probably brown bears. How many have you seen in West Virginia? Have you seen many
Black bears a lot.
black bears?
It's West Coast that has the most brown bears.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
The only bears that I've seen is over where James lives, and they've been smaller. They've been literally like probably, I want to say 100 pounds at most. They haven't been like these,
Really?
right. They haven't been like these big. I saw one a couple
That's a
weeks
baby.
ago whenever I was on the in the Smokies, and I saw one 3 or 4 years ago whenever I was in the Appalachians, and they were smaller bears. I was very intrigued on how small they were compared to what I thought that they were. Like, I thought it was going to be this huge mammoth thing. It wasn't.
100 pounds is tiny.
Yeah, it was very tiny.
Because that's the size of, if you're going to go out and shoot feral hogs for the purposes of
Yeah, it was about the size of a
butchering
hog.
them. Yeah.
Yep.
That's the size you want, because they get much bigger than 100, maybe 150 pounds. And they get the meat gets really tough.
Yeah, they were about
So-
the size of a feral hog. Yep.
The black
Interesting.
bear, the black bear that I killed was 250 pounds dressed.
Okay.
Dressed. Gotcha.
Okay. That's,
Wouldn't-
yeah. I mean,
Still
there's
wouldn't
elk,
wanna tangle with a 100-pounder though.
there's elk that are bigger than that. So
Those claws, man, they're nasty.
Oh yeah, I'm not trying to discount the bear. The bears are bears are actually not mean animals. They're just territorial. So if you get in their territory, look out. So
yeah,
like
from what
that,
I
I
understand, like they don't want to be around you, but if
No.
you come into their stuff,
Mhm.
they're bad.
Yeah.
Well, that's most wild animals, right? Like if you, that's why when you go out into the trails or in the bush, you just you talk or you do something, you make noise, and then
Yeah.
But when you scare something, you walk upon it, it just freaks out, right? But you guys are about right. So the female black bear can weigh up to 300 pounds, but on average is 140, and the male bear is 500 pounds, but on average is 2 to 250.
Yeah.
So,
All right.
yeah.
So I saw an average bear, just an average bear.
You know what I saw Thursday? I went to a four-wheeler mechanic who's fixing my son's four-wheeler. And he's like, my cat's inside. Its name is Rocco. I'm like, that's okay, cool. And then he's like, it's not really a cat, it's a raccoon. I'm like, I gotta see this. So my son and I and my wife, we go in the guy's house, and he's got this raccoon living in his house, and it's his cat, and it's the cutest friggin' thing I ever saw. But I was scared shitless out of it, like, because those things can be like to me when I walk out in the garbage, they're in the garbage, they hiss and I'm like, do you clip its nails? He's like, no. And this thing is this plump little thing that walks over to the dog dish. It sits on its butt, kind of like sideways, grabs a handful and just starts eating. and it's not even looking at the food. And it's like
plotting your demise.
It's cute, but it's terrifying. It's like, and you know what the worst part is? I'm like lying in bed. I'm thinking about it. I was like, damn it, I should have took a video of that. And I didn't. So I'll be going back next week. But
you seen the video of the guy feeding the raccoons in his backyard up in Canada? He's got like a box full of hot dogs. There's like 50 or 60 raccoons on his back porch.
Oh, wow.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, I can find
Those
it.
things carry scabies, man.
It's so we were in Cancun last month, like I mentioned a minute ago, and we were walking home. We went to a late dinner one night. We were walking back to the hotel room. We went upstairs. We're walking down the hallway, and I see this motion, and they have these lights that light the hallway, and they're like this far from the wall, and they're up and down, but there's this much room between the ceiling and the floor. There's these light fixtures that are like 6 feet tall, but they don't go all the way to the floor or the ceiling. And I see this movement. I'm like, wait a minute. And there's something crawling down the light, and they get on the floor and they start walking around. I'm like, oh, that's somebody's cat. I'm like, dude, that's a raccoon. My wife's like, is that I was like, yeah, that's a raccoon. So we start walking up to him, and the raccoons are like,
what'd you want?
What? There's people here? I'm like, dude, you're in a hotel. Come on, man. There's people here. So they weren't mean or anything, but I kind of walked up to him to kind of say something to him, and they just kind of walked off and kind of looked at me. So they're, like a dog you'd see on the street that doesn't want anything to do with you. That's kind of what they reminded me of. But I was just like, raccoons crawling up inside the wall, going through the light fixture. Okay. I thought that was weird.
Raccoons are. I used to watch. I can't remember where it was on YouTube, but it was like some vlog, and it was this person in Indiana who did a daily vlog, and the family would go out and play with the raccoons in the trees. They'd climb up in the trees and they'd play with the raccoons. I'm just like, you guys are freaking crazy, man. Those things have diseases, and
people in Indiana are cuckoo.
It's not just people in Indiana. When I was in high school, I had a buddy ask me for my pocket knife, and he threw it at a squirrel, and it stuck its back paw. The knife stuck its back paw in the tree, and I had to go get my knife. He wasn't going after it.
Oh, wow.
Needless to say,
I'm sure this guy's neighbor loves him, man.
I grabbed my knife and the squirrel and threw the squirrel at the guy.
The raccoon guy?
threw the squirrel at the guy.
It's kind of insane.
That's funny.
Yeah, but I'm sure his neighbors hate, like, they must hate him, because that just means his whole neighborhood's full of raccoons.
The squirrels are bad too. Those freaking tree rats. Those are they can be ridded off the earth for all I care. Squirrels and raccoons, get rid of them later.
Yeah.
Chipmunks. I'm with you with chipmunks, but squirrels are good, man. They're tasty.
They are tasty.
No,
if they're cooked correctly, squirrel and dumplings is a good meal. That's a good dish.
Well, I'll bring them all to Texas.
We have ours already. We have plenty of them here. Yeah. In fact, I cannot neither confirm or deny that when I've been sitting in a deer stand and the deer aren't out, that the squirrels sometimes pay the price. So
I'll completely admit to that. I've taken a limit of squirrels when there's no deer around.
Yeah.
Get back into the house. Hey, did you get anything? I sure did. Dinner.
Yeah.
Yeah, my dogs played tug of war with one that accidentally got in my backyard a couple weeks ago, and my female had the upper half and swallowed it, and the male had the bottom half and just left it in the yard for me.
Oh my God!
My shepherd, the squirrels get in the tree out here, and they cackle at my German Shepherd Electra, and she cannot stand it. She goes nuts. She just completely loses it because they get up there in the tree and they're like, just teasing her. So I go out there and I shake the tree, and about 9 times out of 10 they jump out of my tree into the neighbor's tree and they scurry off and they're gone. But every now and then they miss, and they come down in the yard and. The end.
She's on like white on rice.
Oh, yeah. She's like, she grabs it. She's like,
Mr. all those times you were chattering at me.
That's right. Yeah.
At least you don't have a cat that brings in snakes, birds. If you brought in a live bird and let it go.
Inside the house.
I have not had that happen. I've had the dogs bring in a live possum that they thought was dead and put it down, and the possum scurries off.
And it's the first time I'd ever seen. I don't know where he found it or how he got it, but he brought a horny toad into the house.
Really? I haven't seen one of those in years.
And those things have, the claw was that long if it was an inch.
Yeah.
Oh, cow.
Yeah.
You know, my dog did the other day. He was herding chickens in the yard. And I've never seen him do that, but my dog usually tears chicken. Yeah, my dog usually like any bird that lands in our yard. My dog, if you see him jumping and kind of running like he's on some kind of mountain, like in a movie, he has something in his mouth and he's throwing it in the air and catching it. And usually it's a mouse or a mole or something. Like
Is your dog trying to recreate the Sound of Music?
That's exactly it. But the other day we're sitting at the kitchen table because he's torn so many turkeys and chickens apart that we've had, and if we introduce him to them when they're young, like when we first get them, he remembers and he doesn't touch them anymore. And he was herding them back towards where they're supposed to be. And it was just like, it was crazy. I don't know. I guess it's like but anyways, it was really cool to see because it usually kills things. Like it killed a deer in my backyard one time. So yeah, my 2 dogs chased a deer till it died.
Oh my God.
They chased a deer until it died?
Yeah,
wow.
How stupid is that deer?
I was going to say that deer.
It was a younger deer. Or I don't know what you call them when they're younger.
Fawn.
It was a fawn, and it kept on running into the fence. It couldn't jump high enough because I have some high fencing.
Oh, you got the high fence.
It would hit the fence and then it run back the other way, and then hit the fence and run back the other way, hit the fence, and then finally it just dropped of heat exhaustion, and then they. I couldn't stop them, and
I couldn't stop them.
Tender meat.
Hey, dogs like venison. I can't blame the dog
the whole time.
Yeah.
I can't keep up with them. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So my dogs are fast.
Well, my landowner, the landowner that owns the property that we hunt at, he's told us several times because they'll come out because there's packs of dogs out there, and I think they're just all like domesticated dogs that people just let run wild. People don't have fences out there. So he's like, yeah, the dogs will come on and they'll chase the cat. He runs cows in the place. They'll chase the cattle, the baby cows and the calves. And he's like, yeah, have you ever seen any dogs? Just shoot them because they kill the baby calves, and they'll also kill your, they'll also kill the fawn, which is true. But I'm like, dude, I can't shoot a dog. I've never shot a dog. I'm not going to do that. But I tell you what, if I ever actually saw a pack of dogs on a calf or on a fawn, I would shoot at them to scare them off, which I've never seen that. But he says it happens all the time. I'm like, okay, well, that's cool.
Jody says post a sign that says beware of dog. I was advised not to post a sign of beware of dogs. And the reason why is because then it ends up being
it's the dog's fault.
Dogs can, and then you're responsible. What is it, negligence or something like that? Like
Something
it's
like
worst. Yeah, you're more like something about liability. If you post a sign that your dogs can be a danger, you pretty much put yourself in more trouble if they ever hurt somebody.
There's a YouTube lawyer, Steve Lato. I don't know if you're familiar with him. Search for Steve Lato and beware of dog. He has a very good video about this.
Yeah. My dad is my dad's an FFL, and he's heard that about when people put up the "we don't dial 911" and they have a picture of a gun. He's like, don't put that up at your house because somebody ever breaks in. Yeah.
Let them be surprised when they come through the door.
Well, that, and also the fact that, if someone breaks into your house and you shoot them, the question will be, well, did you just shoot now and ask questions later? Did you tell them to stop? Did you fire a warning shot? Did you do this? Now, in Texas, I don't think we have that problem although we could, but maybe not as much as some other places. But it brings up the question: did you have to shoot this guy that broke into your house?
Yeah,
and I'm like, well,
in Texas, everyone has a gun there.
Well,
right.
The castle law we have in place in Texas is a wonderful thing because you come to the door, you're pretty much screwed.
Yeah.
And I don't have that in Missouri too.
Yeah. And I'm like, you know what? There's one way to not get shot. Don't come into my house.
Very much.
It seems pretty simple to me. So.
Have you guys ever seen that thing that says "just as the founding fathers intended"? It's several years old, but it says, "I own a musket for home defense, since that's what the founding fathers intended. 4 ruffians break into my house. What the devil?" As I grab my powdered wig and Kentucky rifle, blow a golf ball size hole through the first man. He's dead on the spot. Draw my pistol on the second man. Miss him entirely because it's smoothbore and nails the neighbor's dog.
I think I've seen this.
To the cannon mounted at the top of the stairs, loaded with grape shot. Tally ho, lads! The grape shot shreds 2 men in the blast. The sound and extra shrapnel set off car alarms. Fix bayonet and charge the last ruffian. Terrified rapscallion. He bleeds out, waiting on the police to arrive. Since triangular bayonet wounds are impossible to stitch up, just as the founding fathers intended.
I've heard people say that the Second Amendment only applies to muskets. I'm like, okay, and then you guys have probably seen this. Is like, okay, well, then all of your statements about anti-gun need to be written on a printing press with a fountain pen and then sent to me by Pony Express, and then I will explain to you after that how wrong you are. So, yeah, yes.
I told Kyle in the chat earlier. My new name for him is Gru's Minion.
Gru's.
Good. Yeah.
Well, there's no castle law in Canada, that's for sure. Actually, today they just announced that all handgun sales are on freeze, and you can't buy or transfer at all.
Why is that?
Molson, this is a serious question. Okay, I joke around a lot. Sometimes people take it too offensively. What are I didn't know you could even buy a handgun in Canada. What are the rules around that before this freeze you're talking about?
Well, the rules are you can get a possession and acquisition license for a long gun or a rifle or a handgun. The handgun is exclusively for sport. There's no such thing as like Bill Gates tried to come to Canada with the security guards and they were refused for carrying a firearm. So you cannot have a firearm for self-defense. That's pretty much it. And for handguns, very strict rules. Like if you're ever caught in your car with your handgun, you better be on the designated route to your shooting range. You cannot stop for gas or anything. You can go there, you can come back, and that's it. And it's for sports shooting.
You should move to Texas where we have freedom.
Right.
That's ridiculous. I'm sorry. That's just
yeah. So it is what it is. Anyway, so
But that's what it is. Yeah. No, I'm not trying to poke fun at anybody. I was legitimately curious. I didn't know what the law dictated up there about handgun, specifically handguns.
Well, we've had some increased gun violence, I believe. So right now they're trying to scale back firearms. The only problem is that at the last 150 shootings, only one of them was with a legally owned gun. So it's not gonna there's a huge import of from
That
the
sounds
US of
that sounds
firearms that are
awfully
months.
awfully similar to
Chicago in California.
mass
New York.
shootings that happens in somewhere. Where else was that other place? Oh yeah, everywhere where mass shootings happen. Yes, 95, 99, and 44 100% of the time it's with an illegal handgun. Go figure. So yeah. So
Now let me ask: is that the same rule in the territories? Because I heard you could carry a gun like for the polar bears and the grizzly bears and all that. Like, is that still true? Like up north in the territories?
They'll have. Well, you're not going to have a handgun for that.
I wouldn't want a handgun go up against a bear.
Depends on what kind of handgun.
I mean,
Well-
fair point, but I mean, still.
Better
I
be a
carry a
hand
model.
cannon.
I got a model 629 with 6 rounds of 44 mag in it.
That's why
I ca-
that's why said
I carry the Desert Eagle 50 caliber from the Matrix.
There you go.
Well, the judge.
It's bigger. It's bigger than I am. I mean, I couldn't hold the damn thing, but
You shot one of those?
no, I don't have one.
My
mean,
wife
they-
did.
They're fun to shoot.
I've always actually I would never. I shouldn't say I'd never own one. I would own one if I found a deal on one. I would never carry. I mean, you wouldn't carry something like that. You're like the Joker in the first Batman movie with Michael Keaton. You're like pulling the gun out like this, and it's like this long. Like, I'm like, I'm not going to carry something, but that would be fun to take to the range just for the hell of it.
Just be prepared for the kick.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure.
No, you know what has a kick? I have the smallest 45 auto ever manufactured. It has a 2.9-inch barrel.
Whoa.
Was that a Derringer?
Nope. It's an AMT backup.
Huh.
I'm not familiar with that one.
And the only safety is the 17-pound trigger draw.
17 pounds?
My
Good
God.
God.
So you have to really make sure you want to shoot it before you pull the trigger.
You have to stand on the thing to get to. Hold on, let me put my gun on the ground. Kick. Oh
Kinda
gosh.
tie a rope to it.
Yeah, tie a rope to it. Yeah, put it on a winch on the front of your truck.
Oh
Sheesh.
my.
That's crazy. All right, Molson. Sounds good, buddy.
All right,
Thanks for
take care.
joining.
See you, Molson.
See you
Later,
later.
bud.
Yep.
He said his internet was acting up, so
What's up, puppy?
good. Yeah. I don't know how we got on the topics of firearms, but that's okay. I don't mind it.
It's
We're
hammered.
gonna start with Japanese guys getting eaten by bears.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true.
We went
Yeah.
from bears to guns to I don't know.
Yeah. Oh well.
There's bears on the island of Japan.
I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You know what?
Bears.
I've been to Japan and I've never seen one.
There's some. They're really small though.
Japanese black bear. Yep.
There you go.
Well, I guess that video that Molson put in the chat was that in Japan?
I thought that's what he said. I didn't really look at it, but I watched the video, but I didn't notice where it was.
Yeah, black bears in Japan. Somebody must have put them there.
Yeah, probably so. Probably
Came
somebody
over on a boat.
sneaking them on checked baggage when they shouldn't be, something like that. Yeah.
It's too funny.
Jason,
So tell us about your escapade in Arkansas. Did you put up the hex beam? Did you make some contacts? What went up there, or what went on up there?
Good question. I'm glad you asked. So, in a nutshell, it was a fun event, and I'm glad I went. But if I had to decide right now whether I'm going back next year, I would say no. It was in a place called Mulberry Mountain Lodge in the Ozarks, just north of. Oh my gosh, I can't remember the name of the town now. It'll come to me in a minute. No, way south. Not way south.
Way
but south of Fayetteville.
Okay.
Not much around there at all. Not near any major cities at all. But it's in the Ozarks, obviously. It was inside of the Ozarks National Forest, which was the signs all around. Now, if you go to the POTA website and look up the entity, it is Kilo 4425, which they list as the Ozarks-St. Francis National Forest. There were no signs anywhere that said anything about St. Francis. It just said Ozarks National Forest. So, but according to the POTA map, that's where I was. So that's what I activated at. Yes, I did activate. I activated Friday. I got 57 or so contacts, and I activated Saturday. I just sat in the truck and activated Saturday. My idiot self. I took my FTDX10, my Pelican case with my FTDX10 in it, and took it out there, and I'm unpacking it, and I realized I had taken my power cable out of my box and connected it to this FT710 because of the same one. The FT710 I'm sending to the winner, to Peter, who won this radio. And I didn't want to put power poles on his brand new power cable, so I just used the one out of the FTDX10, and I forgot to put it back in my box. So I borrowed a cable from somebody. But we didn't. I got there on Wednesday, and we camped at a place called Redding Park. I don't think it was a state park, but it was inside the national forest, and it was wooded and was nice and beautiful and nice and quiet overnight. So we camped at Redding Park Wednesday night. We drove into the Rendezvous Festival at Mulberry Mountain Lodge on Thursday. We found a place that we wanted to park and camp. And by early afternoon, shortly after lunchtime, the winds came up, and it was really windy because it was like a valley, an open field valley on top of a mountain. So the wind would come up over the mountain, down into the valley, and everything was just really windy. And we talked to several people there, and they were like, yeah, last night the winds picked up right around dusk, and it just stayed like that all night long. So the guys I was camping with were like, let's just go back to Redding because there was no wind. We were camping. I'm like, okay, yeah, let's do that. So every night we went back, and it was like 10 or 12 minutes up the road. It wasn't very far at all. So we went to the show during the day, and we went back and camped in the other place at night. And we did that Thursday night, Friday night, and I think everyone left by Saturday evening because there was a hailstorm coming in. But I did not set up the hex beam because of the wind, and also because we weren't camping at that site. My hope was to set up the hex beam on Thursday and leave it until Saturday night or Sunday and just operate all weekend. But with the wind that was coming through and with the and the fact that we were moving campsites and whatnot, I'm just like, but we set up a one of the guys, there was a ham radio club there that had a vendor booth there from NWA, Northwest Arkansas Aries Group, I think is who it was. They were from Benton County, which is up towards Fayetteville, Bentonville area. About a half hour north of where we were. And they were set up there, and I was walking along talking to some other people, and I heard radio squelch or single sideband noise. And I'm like, wait a minute, I know what that sound is. And I turn around, and this guy's sitting there with a G90 and a vertical telescoping pole from MFJ. And I'm like, hey, what band are you on? And he looked at me, and he's like, I'm on 20 meters. I'm like, cool. You operating POTA? And he said, I was about to. He's looking at me. He's looking at me like
who you at?
Who are you? And what do you? And then the guy behind me, he's like, Ham Radio 2.0. so, and then the guy sitting down, he's like, I thought you looked familiar, and I was like, all right, cool. So I hung out with those. Those were really some really nice guys. I hung out with them all weekend, and I set up my FTDX10. They let me use one of their power cables and on their antenna. So. It worked out fine.
So how many people were at this rendezvous?
Probably 300 to 500. 300 to 500 people.
And they all had their rigs out, and you could walk around and tour their rigs. And...
Some, yes. Some. There was a rig. There was a content creators section.
Wow.
Content creators could come and set up. I was not on the list. So I did not get to come to set up. And I put they had an app for their festival, and I put it in the chat, and I was like, how does one get added to the content creators list? Now, I'm not saying this disparagingly, because I went and there was like 6 or 7 of them on that list inside the app. And I went and met 4 or 5 of those guys. Nice guys, really helpful. I asked them a bunch of questions. They were very cordial, very helpful, very polite. But the biggest one had 2,200 subs, and I'm like, hey, how do I get on this list? Because I have some YouTube subs.
There wasn't Ozark
1 or 2, right, Jason?
yeah, just a couple. Yeah,
Ozark Overland Adventures wasn't there?
Yeah, he was there.
Okay,
but he didn't get there until I didn't see him until Saturday. Now, if he was there before that, if he was there before that, I just missed him. He did a presentation on Saturday. I did not see him at the content creator section at all. And inside of the app itself, he was not listed. And I thought that was kind of strange because I'm like, I know this dude's got to be here.
Yeah. I mean, he's not a big. Oh, I mean, I think he's probably got 70,000.
I think I looked at him. I looked him up again because I've watched him before. I've looked him up when we were there. I think he's at like 58,000.
Oh, he is?
So, yeah, I think it was 58.
Because I thought that he was trying to get to 100K by the end of the year.
I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking of somebody else.
Well,
it's not 58,000 is not a small channel.
You're right. You're right. He's got 59.7.
Yeah.
You're right.
So yeah, that's not a small channel. It is not a small channel.
That's significant.
Yeah. So but anyway, so I talked to the content creators guys. There was another section over there for rig roundup where people could go park and showcase their rigs. There wasn't very many people over there, but there was a couple of guys in other parts. Kyle, do you remember Cottywomple Overland?
No.
They were at More Expo.
No. And
the only reason I remember them is because we were walking by and they recognized us. I don't remember if they recognized me at least. Or this guy, really tall guy, Bill was his name. And he was like, hey, yeah, we do ham radio. We have a YouTube channel. They got about 17 or 18,000 subs about overlanding. Cottywomple Overland.
Where were they set up at More?
They were in the front. When you walked in the front door, they were one of the trucks over there on the left-hand side.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Okay. So, but I saw that truck there. It was a big Dodge Ram, the big 2500 Dodge Ram orange truck with their Instagram handle, Cottywomple Overland on the side. I'm like, I know that guy. So I'll go over there and walk over and I'm looking around. I'm like, and then the one guy has the hat on and he's acting like, yeah, he's talking about his truck. And I'm like, hey, who's the tall guy that's with you guys? He's like, oh, that's Bill. I said, Bill's the ham. And this other guy, and he told me his name. I don't remember. I feel bad. And he's like, oh, yeah, but we're both hams. I'm like, oh, okay. I was like, I met Bill at the More Expo. He watches my channel. I'm on YouTube. And he looks at me. He's like, you grew a beard. I'm like, yes, I did. And so he knew who I was, too. I guess he hadn't watched my channel in a while because I didn't grow this overnight. But so he and I struck up a conversation. He's like, dude, we need to go do some stuff. We need to go do some trails together. I'm like, let's do it. Yeah. Let's do it. So I talked to him about what I needed for my full-size overland rig, which is what he had. So I got some really good information. Yeah, you guys go check that out. Cottywomple Overland on YouTube. Nice guys. They're both hams. He said he and Bill, when they would go with the group, they'd always have like a second channel. They both have FTM 400s, and they have a Simplex Fusion channel that they would go off on when they just wanted to talk about other people. It's like, I got this guy over here. I don't know what the hell he's doing, because those guys are all on GMRS. So they're talking on Fusion ham radio. I'm like, that's awesome. Let's do it. So, yeah, but really nice guys. So I had a good time. It was a good show. I met more ham radio operators at that show than I've met at any overlanding show I've been to so far.
Huh.
There were a lot of hams there. Sadly, no one on 6.52. But there were a lot of hams. A lot of people come, oh, I've got my call sign. I've got my call sign. I've got my call sign. I'm like, bring your freaking radio with you, dude. Seriously. So, so my goal in life for the next 5 years, however long it's going to take, is to actually get some 6.52 simplex activity at these overland shows. That's what I want to do. So
these overland shows, I mean, I would love to like pimp out my Tacoma. Actually, what I'd really like to do is get a trailer, like get an overland trailer with a tent and, a 370 or 370 degree
270.
Yeah, sorry. Did I say 3? I meant 2.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, 270 awning and but man, those things are expensive. And
they're expensive.
And I mean, the whole concept of being able to go wherever your truck or your Jeep or whatnot can go, and you just set up like on top of a mountain or in a ridge, and that is fascinating to me. I wish that I had more time and I had literally $60,000 to spend on an overlanding rig that I could be like, hey, I'm gonna go do this and try this lifestyle for a while.
Here's what you do, okay? And we should so Whiskey 7 Backroads is I clicked on the wrong thing. Whiskey 7 Backroads, Brent is in the channel. He's in the chat right now. That's Brent. He has one of those monster Earth Explorer vehicle.
Oh my gosh,
things.
those things are awesome.
Those things are freaking cool. He was at the Overland Expo Mountain Show in Colorado that I went to with Gigaparts last August. Really nice dude. Whiskey W7BRs is obviously his call sign. Go look up, go Google his name, Whiskey 7 Backroads, and go find his website and subscribe to his email list. So really cool guy. He's got some cool stuff he talks about. But here's the thing, Kyle. Here's what we need to do, because Shane and I was just talking to Shane in the chat about this a minute ago. Shane has a Tacoma, and he recently put a roof rack on it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, a roof tent on it. I don't remember if he's got it on a roof rack or a bed rack, but he's got a roof tent on it now.
Okay.
We need to do some stuff like that.
Yeah.
We need to go up. And I don't like the roof rack. 2 reasons. Number 1, they're expensive, which, okay, I don't have problem spending money on something that's worth it. But number 2, the real reason is because if it's windy or hailing or raining and you're in a tent above everything else and it's going, I'm never going to sleep.
Yeah, I know.
You know? So I have a Gazelle tent that I used at this show, and I used it a couple shows ago, and I'm going to use next year at More Expo. It takes literally about 4 minutes to set up a Gazelle tent.
I saw
They're
the Gazelle
about
tent,
mm-hmm.
and it looks just like an ice shanty for ice fishing.
But
Correct.
It's got a floor.
Oh, so it
yes.
has a floor. That was going to be my next question.
It does have a floor.
And
the one I have,
dark,
some of them do, some of them don't. The one I have has a floor.
You get it inside, and what do they sell for? Because that's interesting to me.
They are not expensive. I think I paid $250 for this one. It has a rain flap over the top that you can put over the top.
Is that the gazebo or is that the actual tent?
It's the actual tent. It's a T3. Gazelle T3.
T3.
Okay. Yeah, about $299.
You have to get a T3 because the T2 is way too small.
The T4 was the smallest one I saw when I was at the show in Virginia last year, and when they had the T3 at Colorado, I'm like, oh, that's more my size.
Let me. So they have like a 2-man tent and a 3-man tent, or a 3-person tent. The 2-man tent is like way too small. You got to get the 3. You got to get the 3.
Okay. The T3 is supposed to be 3-person.
Yeah.
And I just got a cot and my sub-kilo sleeping bag that Adam turned me onto, and that's what I used at Rendezvous, and it was perfect because my buddy Justin KI5PDO, who I camped with, he has a Tacoma with a roof rack or with a roof tent. Here's the other problem: every night you get to camp, you drive into camp, you park, you set up your tent on your truck. The next morning, you get up, you want to go back to the show, you tear down everything and go to the show. I left my Gazelle tent set up for 3 days and didn't touch it.
That is the one.
So
I hear you. Like whenever you put your house on the back of your truck,
yes,
you got to tear that thing down. Like if I was thinking about getting a bed rack and getting a roof rack tent and coming down to Huntsville and staying at the state park.
Damn
I
right.
got to thinking, well, I'm gonna have to get up, I'm gonna have to take a shower, and then tear down my house to go to the show, and then bring the house back and set the house back up.
Yep.
Get a Gazelle tent. They are cheaper. The guy, according to, it's not Gazelle that told me this. Okay, the first time I ever experienced Gazelle tent, I met them in person at the Overland Expo East show in Virginia a year ago, last October. I was talking to some other people around that area. I was like, "Yeah, I've seen these tents before. Tell me, what are they?" They're like, "Dude, these are great. When people go hike Mount Everest, this is the tent they take." And I'm like, "Really?" Wow. So they are, and go read up about it. Go to gazelletents.com, and I would love it if you guys would use my Shane just posted his affiliate link in my chat. I'm gonna have to hit him later for that. I have an affiliate link for Gazelle.
Just flick them with the shorties.
I know, yeah, exactly. So, but no, seriously, Gazelle tents are freaking fantastic. They're much less expensive than a rooftop tent. You can leave them set up. They set up and tear down very quickly.
Chuck had a Gazelle tent at Grand Canyon.
Did he?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't remember that, but
he did.
Okay,
I didn't go and take a look at it though.
Yeah. Well, they have a lot of different sizes. They have the gazebo. I did that video about the gazebo last year. They suckered me. I say they suckered me. They're real nice guys, and they had a gazebo deluxe this year at the Colorado show last August, and I was going and talked to them about the T3. I bought a T3 from them, and they've got their little area there at the show. They've got a Gazelle Deluxe setup, and that's where they had a table in there with their credit card machine, their brochures and everything, and making sales to people. And I walk in there, and I'm like, and they had this really nice awning out the door that went over the door, so like a little porch area in front of the gazebo. And I'm like, how do you get that awning for your gazebo? And they're like, well, this is the Gazebo Deluxe. It has the awning, and it has rain flaps that come with it. Because my gazebo has rain flaps you can add to it later. That it doesn't come with it. Yes, exactly, Carlos. So I'm like, okay, what about this? And they're like, oh, it comes with all that. And I'm like, well, how much are they? And they told me, I think it was like $350, $375, something like that. And I'm like, you guys are jackasses, I swear. And I told them that. I was like, I'm gonna have to buy one of these damn things now. And I did. And I'm gonna take both of them, my gazebo and my Gazebo Deluxe, to the deer lease next month when it's hunting season. I'm gonna set both of them up and compare them, and then I'm gonna sell my original gazebo. So you guys be watching for that. Anybody wants a gazebo tent? It's a great, but it's screened on all 6 sides. And so the new one I have has flaps that fold down for rain flaps on all 6 sides, and an awning that goes over the front. So you could really use it as a tent if you want to, because it has flaps and you can darken the whole thing.
So you can, so on the Gazelle tent, the T3, you can put a full size cot in it.
You could probably put 3 full-size cots in it.
Oh, okay.
I had a full-size cot in it, and I had room for all of my extra crap, my bags, yeah.
All right,
easy.
That's the kind of stuff I. Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool. They actually have one that's huge. They got one that's got like, you could probably sleep like 6, and then it's got on the side of it, it's got a gazebo attached to it.
Oh yeah, they've got double room those double room tents are badass, because here's this. What you do with the double room tent, you set up a tent that's literally 2 rooms, okay? And there's a flap that goes in between the 2. So you set that up at field day. You put an air conditioner in one side, and you put your bed in the other side. And then you go out there and you operate in the air conditioning. Or you sleep in the air conditioning if you'd rather do that, however you want to do that. Or a heater, put a heater in the one side if it's cold at night and hot during the day. That's the perfect field day setup, is the dual room tent, because you can operate in one side and sleep in the other side.
You sleep during field day?
Some people
crazy.
Do. Yeah, I know. What's that about, right?
Just put all the technicians on the midnight shift.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm too drunk to operate right now. You good?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. But those are great. They're very well made, good quality, lots of room, much cheaper than a rooftop tent. You don't have to worry about setting the damn thing up. So,
and you don't kill your gas mileage.
That's true also.
Yeah, that's true.
So Kyle, you and Shane and I need to do a trip.
Yeah,
we'll just go. And we don't, I can't, you have your Tacoma's a 4x4, is it not?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, I thought it was. So I probably can't get to as many places as you can, because my truck's heavier and larger. Right. Although I'm getting, the guys at Cottywomple said, they said, here's what you need. They said, that guy, I wish I could remember his name. He was there and he's like, dude, my rig's 10,000 pounds. I'm like, okay, well, tell me what to do. And he gave me some tips. I'm like, okay, that's what I'm doing. So soon I'll be able to do the same thing you guys do with the Tacomas. But we just need to, we don't have to do some like really steep ass, all-inclusive, exotic, hardcore trail. Let's just go out somewhere that's a really good national forest or POTA spot and drive out to the woods and camp there and freaking activate POTA all weekend.
Well, doesn't have to be drink good beer, drink good whiskey, and smoke a cigar or 3, and play once in a while.
You did a good job on keeping up with Red Summit RF whenever we were doing the Dukes of Hazzard thing up that mountain. My God, I never saw somebody drive so fast up a mountain.
Yeah. Charlie was.
I took a look in the rearview mirror. There's Jason right behind him. I'm just like, oh my God, that's pretty good.
Yeah. My perspective is this. Now I'm not saying I'm right. So you guys, you Tacoma guys and Chevy guys and Jeep guys, don't get your panties in a twist. I drive a Ford, and it's basically indestructible. So I just go, through the woods. I don't care. So, and I've never destroyed it yet. Guys who don't like Fords, okay, that's fine. I proved you all wrong 100 times, but it's okay. It's all right. It's okay. But no. I joke around about that a lot because I love Fords. I really do. But seriously, yeah. There was a big hailstorm come in to Rendezvous as we were leaving. And I was following 3 Jeeps. There was Farm to Market Road. I was following 3 Jeeps up down the mountain. Farm to Market Road. One lane this way, one lane that way, and this hailstorm comes in. They pull off the side of the road and underneath these trees, and I followed them. I pulled off and I parked behind them. We sat there for 10 or 15 minutes, and I'm like, and there's probably quarter size, maybe a little bit smaller than quarter size hail pop in the windshield, and I'm like, these guys with these Jeeps are kind of screwed right now. I pulled out with the hail stopped. I pulled down the road. I went to the gas station. I had to fill up anyway. I went to the gas station. I get up on top of my truck and I look around, look at my hood, look at the top of the cab, and I'm like, cool. I had no damage, none. So I was like, yeah, I'm good. Ford tough, buddy. Built Ford tough.
Well, and what year is yours?
2004.
Yeah, I mean, and it's not like yours is last year's model or anything.
Right. Well, and it's challenging to find parts for. I go to Overland shows and I tell people I have a 2004, and they're like, "Oh, that's an old truck." I'm like, "No. The '78 F-150 in my garage at home, that's an old truck. My 2004 is built this century. It's not really that old, but they all think it's old because if it's not 2018 or newer, they think it's old."
Is, so in a couple of years, Jason, I don't know about in Texas, but in Indiana, any vehicle older than 20 years, it becomes a classic.
Yes. Yep. Correct. Yep. My 78 is almost an antique. Be an antique in 2028. 50 years. So
antique.
I hope to have it rebuilt by then. But yeah, no, seriously, we should do a thing, Kyle. I think that'd be really fun.
That'd be cool.
It doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to be exotic or extravagant. We just need to get out in the freaking woods and do some POTA.
Why don't we plan something for? Isn't like Oklahoma between you and I?
It's due north of me, so not really. I tell you what, is between you and I is the Ozarks.
Well, let's go down there.
And they do stuff out there all the time. Yeah, I guess from.
That's a lot hillier than where it is in Missouri. I mean,
but it's all inside that national forest, buddy. It's all a POTA spot. The whole thing's a POTA spot.
Bring some moonshine.
Hell yeah, yeah.
Well, we need to look on the POTA site because there's some trails down there, and I was looking. I was just looking on the POTA site here. I bet you we could probably find a 2 or 3 for, and roam around and then camp right at a 3 for and activate.
Yeah, let's do it.
YouTubers with a 3 for.
Shane is busting the chops here. My Tacoma's only 2-wheel drive. What? How can you buy a Tacoma that's only 2-wheel drive? I thought they only came in 4-wheel drive.
They do not. Okay, so I met two of the content creators at that show, and their shtick was that they had 2-wheel drive Tacomas.
Wow.
And they had Overlanding YouTube channels about their adventures in a 2-wheel drive Tacoma. Shane, I will send you their information. You should go watch their channels. They were both nice people.
Himself. His 4x4 is going to be here in March or April.
Well, okay, hey, that's good. But yeah, I mean, yeah, this one guy I met, he was like, "Yep, mine's 2-wheel drive. I just go." He's like, I got to get winched out sometimes. That's okay. He's like, I just go. Okay, cool, man. That's awesome.
You just need a friend with a winch. That's all you need.
That's right. Yeah, you just need exactly. That's all you need.
Are you having fun? That's really what matters.
Exactly. It doesn't have to be. See, I've always said I'm not really interested in rock climbing. These guys with the 39-inch Jeep wheels and whatnot, they're like, let's go. I don't care about that. I just want to get off road. That's it. Really, all I want to do is find a place to go dispersed camping inside of a POTA spot. That's all I want to do.
Yeah.
So, and it's fun. It's fun to do that. So,
let's go.
Let's do it. Next year is the Overland year. So, Shane, work out your freaking work schedule, dude, and come with us.
The Appalachian Trail year.
Yeah, are we still doing that?
I'm down if you're down.
I'm down. I told my wife about it. She looked at me. She's like, "You better get in shape."
Yeah.
That's cold, man.
She's not wrong. She's like, you gonna go practice before that? Yeah, I'm gonna go practice. I'm gonna go hiking. Yeah,
my wife had similar words, and don't feel bad. Okay. Like,
what's the Appalachian Trail thing?
You're gonna call me 3 days in and tell me to bring you home crying. That's what she told me.
Yeah. Brent, come with us, dude. So do we want to talk about that, Pat and James, or
go
no?
ahead? Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, so my cousin-in-law Scott, he went and hiked the Appalachian Trail. I think it was before COVID, or no, it was. I don't remember now. It was either 2019 or 2020. But he did 3 weeks. He didn't do the whole thing. He did 3 weeks of it. And I started. And he was telling me about this. I'm like, that sounds interesting. And now the trail, if I'm not mistaken, the trail itself is a POTA spot, but it goes through all these forests and national parks, and there's twofers and threefers in there as well.
Yep.
I activated the Appalachian Trail last week, 2 weeks ago.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
So my cousin did part of it, and I'm like, okay, I got to do that. I've got to put that on my bucket list. I want to go do that. So we were at Huntsville 2 months ago in August, and I hear James and Pat talking about. So I don't remember what they were talking about. They said something about the Appalachian Trail. I'm like, hey, I'm going to do that one of these times. And they're like, well, we're going next year. I'm like, well, where are you going? So we all kind of, I mean, they're like, well, we don't have anything planned yet. So we very, very tentatively have planned to go. Y'all want to go through the state of Maryland, right?
Yeah, probably West Virginia and Maryland, because West Virginia is only like 4 miles.
Oh,
you could do that easily in a day.
Yeah, yeah.
But Maryland's only like 42 miles, I think, on the trail.
Okay.
So that's like less than a week right there.
So we're talking about like the week after, like if we leave Hamvention on Sunday or Monday, driving out there and, starting on like Wednesday or something like that. We had
Tuesday or Wednesday.
Tuesday or Wednesday, up in the air right now, but we're talking about doing that like for a week or so after Hamvention next year.
Yep.
So
and then Memorial Day weekend, I want to do the DC in a day challenge again, where I activate all the parks in DC in a day. So,
do you have to get permits for that?
Nope. Nope.
How many parks is that?
32.
Wow.
In a day?
But I mean, they're all like almost all of them are down by the National Mall. So like you could literally like think about it this way, like think about how there's the Lincoln Memorial and then there's like the Korean War Memorial right next to it. Like that's a whole separate POTA right there. So you could literally walk in between most of them. I think there's maybe like 7 or 8 you'd actually have to drive to.
And the National Park Service didn't give you any crap about setting up an antenna?
Nope. I do club activations every month with the Washington D.C. Amateur Radio Club down at like all these POTAs down there.
Now, Pat, I bet you if you went up on the national or the Washington Monument and went beside the monument with your man-pack portable, I'm sure that the park ranger would come out and be like, "What the hell are you doing, boy?"
It'd probably be the Secret Service in that case,
well, I mean, even worse.
Yeah.
Listen, we did the Jefferson Memorial the night of Biden's State of the Union address. Half of Washington was shut down. We're out there with the antennas up in the air.
Nice.
Yep.
So Leon's talking about you can do Gettysburg right up. I want to do Gettysburg. The guys at OBX, the HRA guys at OBX, some of them,
really cool.
Some of them were driving home through Gettysburg, and they're like, "We're going to stop and activate Gettysburg," and I'm like, "Oh, I want to do that." So HRA is tentatively planning to go to Hawaii next year and activate
Pearl Harbor,
James territory.
Pearl Harbor, but it's not. But they called it something. What's the other one that's sunk out there? Not the
U.S.
Arizona.
The Arizona, but the other one, not the Arizona, the other one. They called it. There was a name he gave for it, and I'm like, "Where is that?" He goes, "It's at Pearl Harbor." I'm like, "Oh yes, I'm."
Talk about the Missouri.
Yeah, I think Missouri's out there. Yeah,
the Missouri's not sunk though. That's a battleship. That's a battleship you can tour.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. He was talking about activating something out there at Pearl Harbor. He called it a name I didn't recognize. So,
I'm missing 3 states, and I've gotten Alaska on a POTA twice, but they have never uploaded their log.
Oh, geez.
And I'm missing Hawaii and Montana, and I can't get there's a guy that's always in Hawaii at some park in Hawaii. I can't get him. I can't receive him to save my life.
I want to
You got
activate.
to burn the midnight oil.
I want to activate all 50 states.
I'm going there in the spring, Carlos.
I'll hunt you. Like right now, I have you paused on my alerts. When I have you on my alerts, my phone's just like bring, It's like, okay, make it stop.
Yeah.
ThinkPad mods and rebuild saying the Utah Memorial.
I don't think that he called it
That
big.
Sound right.
Big something. Big Ms. Big something.
It must be Big Mo. He's talking
Big
about.
Mo. That was it. Big Mo. That's it.
That's the battleship, and like they have their own little amateur radio club. They actually use the antennas on the ship and everything.
Okay, so that's what.
Cool.
So HRA wants to go activate that next year. No dates planned. It's just an idea right now.
I don't know if that counts as a POTA though, because that is private property technically.
But it's right there near Pearl Harbor.
I don't
so
know.
if it doesn't count as a POTA, then you can kind of walk 10 feet and activate Pearl Harbor.
Oh yeah.
My wife and I went to Pearl Harbor about 10 or 12 years ago, prior to POTA existing. So when POTA came around and I decided I wanted to activate all 50 states, I told her, I said, hey, I want to go back to Pearl Harbor and activate that. And she's like, okay. She's like, you want to go back to Hawaii? Okay, let's go. You know, she's all about Hawaii. So, yeah. We're going to do that. Whether we do it with HRA next year or whether we do it on our own, we're going back to Pearl Harbor and we're going to activate that. And we'll probably stay overnight on Oahu and then fly to another. We really like Maui. We've been to Kauai twice. She wants to go to the Big Island and walk around the Big Island, but because we've never been there. But
I will say, depending on what part of the Big Island you go to, you don't want to try driving between, because I was stationed there for 3 years, and what they did during World War II, they built the road between Hilo and Kona, and they built it all kinds of crooked and with big potholes to stop the Japanese from going from one side of the island to the other, and they've never fixed the road.
Okay.
It's still potholes and
It looks like Pearl Harbor and what else is there? It's the World War II Valor in the Pacific National Monument. It looks like it's a twofer.
Right. Yeah. I remember there was a two for that. I can't remember the name of the second one, but
that'd be awesome to do.
Wouldn't that be fun? Yeah.
I went there on my last deployment. Kind of a shame I didn't have my general or anything.
Well, I mean, that's what we wanted to. So yeah, so let's do an overland thing next year, because really the real reason I want to get my truck built into an overland rig is to do an ultimate POTA rig, the ultimate POTA rig, and just go out there and say, I've got an awning, I've got water, I've got all this stuff, I've got a gazelle tent over here. So
Hawaii's chock full of POTA, man. Look at this. I never bothered to look at that map. That is fantastic.
Yeah.
What you think that's chock full of POTA? Go to the National Mall in DC and take a look at that. That's chock full of POTA.
Long Island is too,
but it's tough.
Quite a few on Long Island too.
I've been to
it's tough on the mall though. It's tough on the mall though. You can't put up just any antenna.
Right. Yeah.
If you put something in a tree, like they might talk.
Yeah. I put up my buddy pole, my buddy's stick, and at that, I mean, I activated National Mall and Constitution Gardens, and also Vietnam Veterans Memorial, and I was stuck back in the trees because I didn't want to be caught. I didn't want the Secret Service to come up and be like, boy, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Are you plotting back here? What are you doing?
That's right.
What are you doing? So I was back in the trees with the buddy pole, and I still had people looking at me like, you know, what's going on. And then I tried to do the Martin Luther King, and I was gonna, you know, go down here by the tidal basin, and activate over there. And every time I sat up, somebody would come over and like start asking me what I was doing, and I'm like, I'm done. I'm out of here. I can't.
Yeah. You got to go, like, the best time to do the National Mall in Washington, D.C., for anyone who's wondering, is, like, first week of September to, like, the middle of October, because everyone's in school, everyone's back at work, the weather's getting a little cooler, People are trying to jam in the museums. Like they're not really walking around the mall too much. So.
Yeah. We need to do. We've talked about this for about a year. We need to do Kilo 0001 in Maine as well.
Yeah,
Acadia National, whatever it is. Yeah, we need to put that on the books.
It's a beautiful national park.
I've heard that. Yeah, Izzo's itching for us to come up there. That's only about an hour and a half from where he lives. So
we can all get back in the El Camino.
It's more than an hour and a half from where he lives.
I thought he told me it was about an hour and a half.
No, Connecticut to Maine's like 7 hours.
It's not that far. It's like 4.
7 hours? Damn, I could get there in 7 hours. What are you talking about? So, not really, but I drive fast. So,
out of 95, you don't.
We need to do that one. That'd be a fun one too.
Yeah.
We could make a week-long trip out of that and
I would come up there for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I have family all over New England, so.
Nice.
To eat lobster every single day.
Yes.
I don't understand why one of us doesn't win the lottery and then just funds everyone's POTA adventure.
I'm trying.
POTA adventure every month.
I try.
Obviously, it's because you're not trying hard enough, Kyle.
Well, I am trying.
If you really, really, really wanted it, Kyle, it would have happened already.
That is true.
Yeah.
I search Indeed every day for a POTA prostitute, and they never
a POTA prostitute.
Like they never have that job open.
POTA prostitute. That's good. I like that.
I'm gonna make a job entry on LinkedIn for that. Let's see.
Yeah. POTA prostitute. Awesome.
There's your new OnlyHams.
That's right. That's right. That's an OnlyHams thing. Oh my goodness. Well, hey guys, we've been going for just over an hour and a half, and I think that we've lost. We're down to 99 watchers right now, so I think it's probably time to wrap it up. But thank you for everybody for being here in the chat. Thanks to all you who are here on Zoom. Appreciate you guys being here. Let's absolutely do something next year, Kyle and Shane. Shane, look up the More Expo in Springfield, Missouri. I think it's the 3rd or 4th weekend in April next year. Third weekend. Look that up and put that on your freaking calendar at work.
Moore.
Yeah, Moore, More Expo. I think it's just moreexpo.com.
Yes.
And anybody who else is in the area, let's invade Springfield More Expo Overlanding Show with ham radio operators. We're gonna invade. I think Kyle and I have tentative plans to invade Virginia next October.
Yeah, we're gonna go
for the Overland Expo.
Fest. Why not?
Yeah,
I'll come down there.
We're gonna go to Expo East.
Expo East. That's correct.
Really?
So, yeah, but the More Expo is in April, so it's before that. So make plans to go to the More Expo in April. And a fairly good number of ham radio presents there last year. And when I say fairly good, like 5 people, which I expected to find 0. And I found, besides Kyle, Kyle and I had plans to go there. So I found 4 or 5 people who were hams there, and I'm like, hey, I'm happy. So yeah, put that on your calendars for next year. It'd be fun.
Really quick, Jason, if there's anybody still in the chat that is a member of the Long Island CW Club, I will be doing a presentation tomorrow at 11 for the club on portable operations, so come check that out.
Cool.
Awesome. Cool. Anybody else have any announcements or anything?
I may be jumping tomorrow. Be on the lookout for a jump announcement.
Okay. Cool. I've got you on my ham alert, so I see when you're doing stuff. So yeah, of course ham alert doesn't pick up on sideband very much, but I see when you're doing FT8. But cool. Okay. Anybody else have anything at all?
November 9th or November 10th. I am going to be going down to Houston. There are some of us who are going to be escorting 5 veteran remains that have been in the funeral home here for a number of years. That's something I'm getting involved with as well. But we're going down there to the Houston National Cemetery to inter them. So that's about all I got on my plate. Other than trying to get these, I've got 2 new computers and So I'm trying to get my studio shack put back together because I lost it for about a year and I just got it back. So.
Yeah, that's cool. You're doing that memorial thing. That's really cool of you.
Absolutely.
So, good.
I got something real quick. So
go ahead.
If you're into contesting and want to stream ARRL sweepstakes, it is a 24. You can operate for 24-hour contest. It's the third full weekend in November. If you want to set up my dashboard, I can help you set up my dashboard, but I think Sterling and I are going to do some type of like live commentary on everyone who is streaming, kind of like, like how they commentate or do commentation on or commenting on golf. We're going to do live commenting on and play-by-play on YouTube on sweepstakes. So
that's cool.
We're going to call it ESPN 73.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
So if
that's a good idea.
If you're going to stream sweepstakes, let me know, and maybe we're going to put like a hashtag in the URL name, ARRLSS, and we'll search on that, and then we're going to get live commentary. We're going to bring up your stream. We're going to talk about what band you're on and what contacts you're making, and then hopefully we can schedule some big guns like K9CT or K3LR to come on live and kind of give us some band conditions, what the guys are doing at the station, where the antennas are pointed, just kind of like some just general stuff. So if you're interested, let me know.
Good. That'll be fun. When is that sweepstakes contest, Kyle?
It's the third full weekend in November, so it's the 19th through the 21st, I think.
So that's the weekend before Thanksgiving.
Yep. And sweepstakes is a contest where you try and work as many ARRL and RAC sections. So it's the same exchange that you would give in field day, but it's a longer exchange. You have to give the year that you were licensed, a check, your section, and something else. I forget what all the things you have to give, but it's a pretty lengthy exchange. But it's a fun contest because it's basically just North American stations on the air. So
cool.
Can it be done from a POTA park?
It can be done from a POTA park. Yep. You just need to know your ARRL section, which is probably West Virginia. So.
Yep. Cool.
Okay.
All right, we're gonna shut it down. 73 to all. Thank you for joining tonight, and we'll talk soon. Everyone have a good evening.
73 guys.
Guys.
Later, guys.